G'day there guys, how can I face my problems if the problem is my face? Welcome back to another episode of r/am I the a-hole. It's your host Markee, I hope you enjoy today's content. Tell me what you think about it down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to smash that like button, I would love your face if you did it, because, you know, my face and all. Hope you guys enjoyed the stories, sit back, relax and enjoy. Thank you. Posted by user Feiyu Moon. Titled, Am I the a-hole for throwing a dirty little family secret in my mum's face? There is a family secret that has been hidden for the last decade. It strained my relationship with my mum significantly. While my dad was still alive, she was having an affair with my uncle. My dad got into an accident and passed away, and before the funeral even happened, my mum had moved my uncle in, pretending to extended family that he was there to help us. A couple of weeks after the funeral, everyone else found out, and they are estranged from my mum and uncle now. My mum was pregnant during all of this, and it was very hard as a 7-year-old to accept what was happening. My mum and uncle got married before their daughter was born, and since then, they've had a son. My relationship with my mum and uncle is not great. It has sucked living with them and seeing their happy ever after play out after what they did. Not even just to my dad, but to me. My mum has always gotten up my butt about my attitude toward her and her husband, and I have always tried to ignore it for the most part. But the other night, she and I got into a fight when their daughter asked why I didn't like her parents, and I told her to ask them. My mum said that it was like telling them there was something they should know. I told her she was the one who screwed her husband's brother, moved him in when he died while having a kid in the house, and then telling the kid to lie about it so the funeral could pass and she could get money from her in-laws instead of being cut off. I told her she was a disgusting person, and I couldn't wait to move out in a few months. Am I the a-hole? ETA, my dad died in a workplace accident. My mum and uncle were kissing in front of me the day he died, so the affair started before. It's also not really an affair if he had been gone. Still screwed up to do it in front of me, but still. I am my dad's only child, both kids are my uncle's. I have contact with my extended family behind my mum's back. She and my uncle are completely cut off from both maternal and paternal families. Once I can, and with the advice of some comments this might be sooner than expected, I'll be getting the hell out of this house, and they will never see me again. I don't give a crap. My mum and uncle are cut off from the second I leave, and I will be free. I feel like this is a pretty easy not the a-hole circumstance here. I don't feel like there's much that you could be hiding in this circumstance that would swing it to an everyone sucks here or you're the a-hole judgment. This seems like a pretty disgusting series of events from both of those two, and I would feel the exact same way, and I would want to leave that house as soon as possible, just as you are. I cannot fault you for that, and you are not the a-hole. Nut Michelle says, not the a-hole. Your mother may want to lie to her daughter, but she can't force you to get on board with it. Not the a-hole, mum played a dumb game and won her prize in the form of an estranged family. If she's worried about what her new children will think of her, then she shouldn't have acted disreputably in the first place. Yup, not the a-hole. If mum didn't want her daughter to ask why, she shouldn't have said anything about it in front of the daughter, and she clearly did for daughter to ask that question. Mum could have given a reasonable and vague answers that wouldn't give rise to questions. She didn't. That's her problem, not OP's. Not the a-hole. Hamlet set the bar on this, so as long as nobody is poisoned and or stabbed, you're cool. Am I the a-hole, or am I not the a-hole? That is my question. Whether 'tis nobler to hold my tongue, or tell my sister the secret shame, I cannot wait to go to college. OP, thou art not the a-hole. Posted by user Oily Spinach, Yummy Yummy. Titled, Am I the a-hole for not criticizing my boyfriend's cooking until he basically forced me to? My boyfriend Kyle and I have only been official for the last couple of months. Usually we hang out at my place, But last night, he thought it would be nice for me to come over to his apartment as his roommate was out of town visiting his parents. He wanted to cook for me, which I thought was super sweet until it actually happened. So I went over and watched some TV while he cooked. He didn't want my help at all, which is fine with me because I'm admittedly a pretty crappy cook. Sometimes I'll make pasta, but I do a lot of takeouts. He made pork chops and sautéed some spinach. When we ate, he kept asking if I liked the food. The pork chops were great, so I told him that. The spinach wasn't good. He used way too much oil, but I didn't really care because it was really not that big of a deal to me. But he just kept asking if I liked the dinner. Like, we were talking about work, and then he would just bring it back to if I really liked the food. I don't know how many times I had to compliment his effing pork chops. I was kind of picking at the spinach, and he specifically asked me if I liked the spinach. I said it was good because I honestly didn't want to get into a whole thing about it, because again, I really appreciated that he cooked in the first place, and some oily spinach didn't matter, and it was edible. Then he was like, "You're lying. Why are you lying?" I then basically said I was eating it, and I asked him why he was getting so fudging ticked about it. I was pissed off because he was getting so angry when I was trying to be polite and appreciative of his nice dinner. He told me he didn't want a liar for a girlfriend. This really ticked me off, and I told him something like, "Fine, your spinach is effing trash. It's garbage. Are you effing happy now?" I don't think that's exactly what I said, but I was like beyond angry. He got smug and smiled and was like, "I knew it. Was that so hard?" Kyle can be stubborn and obsessed with being right sometimes, but on the other hand, so can I. I told him that he can enjoy the rest of his crappy spinach alone, and I bounced out of the apartment. We've both texted that last night was crazy, but neither of us apologized, lol. But anyway, am I the a-hole? He sucks for continually pressuring you to get an answer out of you and to get the truth, but it didn't really seem like he was upset when he got his answer. I think he just got off on getting the truth out of you. And that's fine. I mean, it's an a-hole thing to do for sure, because he got smug and he smiled about it. He didn't apologize for upsetting you. And I guess you might be the a-hole for being so angry and so blunt about it. But again, that is the truth, and Kyle is stubborn, and he wouldn't stop asking you unless you did something like that. So I think you're justified you're the a-hole in this sense. I don't think it was the right thing for you to do. I feel like you should have said it in a nicer way. But of course, you could be not the a-hole for this one, since he goaded that out of you. I don't know the answer to this one. I'm just going to go with everyone sucks here, but you are justified in your a-holeness and anger. Update. I showed Carl this post, and both of us are very amused that the final verdict is we both suck. We agree. All is well now, and he wants you to know that the spinach wasn't that oily, lamau. Everyone sucks here. Have either of you ever been in a relationship before? Like, one where you had to know how to communicate with other people? Everyone sucks here. Right? Like, he needs to learn to back off? But at the same time, if her reaction was noticeably lukewarm, then he may have been concerned with her lack of real communication. I know for myself, I would rather a person be completely honest than polite. It took my boyfriend a while to get used to, but I really do prefer a "this spinach is straight up nasty" to a lukewarm "it's fine" smiley face. OP, if your relationship is gonna work, both of y'all need to talk and adapt. Or realize you're not a good match. Whatever, just do something more than politeness, and your boyfriend do more than just pushing. Is it so hard to say, if you don't like it, it's okay to just say so? I agree that how the spinach comment was said was not necessarily nice, but it seemed like the guy was berating her to a breaking point, yelling at her and calling her a liar? I'd be pretty pissed if someone were treating me that way because I refused to negatively comment on their cooking. Not the a-hole. You were being polite, and that is the correct polite way of being appreciative of somebody cooking for you when you don't like something. He was an a-hole for calling you a liar. It is good to note in the future that you should never sugarcoat anything when he is doing something that you don't like. But that was totally uncalled for. Yeah, I don't think she owes him a completely honest answer. This isn't Top Chef or something. Usually when my significant other makes something I don't care for, I will say, this is good, but it's a little salty. Or, this is really nice, but I don't like beets. Sorry. The boyfriend has to be mature enough to accept the feedback. The girlfriend also needs to chill the hell out and learn how to give criticism without bursting into a rage over it. I would be frustrated in the same scenario, but yelling at someone isn't how you vent your frustrations, even if they are being rude. Posted by user, haha motherfricker, titled, Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my sister in front of her baby daddy? So I, 20 female, still live at home with my parents and my 4 younger siblings. My older sister, 29 female, has her own place where she lives with her son. At the start of the lockdown, in March, my sister decided to come stay with us. My sister had started this rude AF habit of snapping her fingers to get someone's attention. Like, she will say their name once, and then start snapping her fingers in their direction. She even does this to my mum and dad. My nephew, almost 2, has a habit of copying any actions we do, and this would be one of the rudest things for him to learn, so I decided to nip it in the bud before it caught on. At first, I would just tell her to stop doing it because it's rude, but she never listens. Now, my sister hates it when my siblings and I treat her like our youngling, so I changed tactics, and honestly, it was more effective than talking to her. Every time she would start snapping her fingers at anyone, I would walk to her, push down her hand, and in the most patronizing voice I could manage, I would say to her, "Use your words, Brenda. We are smart. I promise we will understand." It works like a charm every time, and everyone finds it funny. Well, after many months of this, it is now a reflex action as I do it a lot. The other day, while her baby daddy, they're not together, was visiting, she started snapping her fingers at my mum. I was walking by her to go to the kitchen, and without thinking, I just did the thing and walked on. Well, the baby man was amused. He burst out into the loudest laugh and cackled for a while. Later, when he was leaving, he told me I was funny and laughed a little more. Apparently, Baby Man told the story to all their friends, and they were laughing about it, and my sister has been hissy since. But she's not done the same snappy thing again, so I guess it worked. Anyway, now everyone is saying that I shouldn't have done that, but Reddit, am I the a-hole? Edit to Ed, when I said it worked like a charm, I meant that in that immediate instance she would stop and call the person by their name, although she would repeat the snappy thing again later. Also, I had to do it over 10 times a day for almost 8 months, so believe me when I say it was reflex. You know an action you do without thinking because it's so obvious. I didn't really think it was as bad as it was, but then I just tried emulating what she's doing, and Jesus Christ, that is obnoxious. That would annoy me so much if someone just started click, 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 hey, get my attention, click, 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 click. I can see why OP made this post, because even just doing that once to me would piss me off so much. I can't believe she had to do it 10 times a day for almost 8 months, and I mean you're embarrassed in front of your baby daddy of all people. How is that the straw that broke the camel's back when there's so many other people in this world that you could have been embarrassed in front of? This woman sounds like she needs to rethink her actions, and it's good that she stopped. It's very good that she stopped. OP, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole, it seems you finally found a solution to her rude behavior. She'll get over it. I wouldn't have fingers to snap had I done that to my mum, lol. I'm pretty sure once I woke up in the hospital, I wouldn't have had a hand if I tried that crap with my mum. My dad didn't tolerate any disrespect toward my mum from anyone. The speed and ferocity that the cordless phone came flying at me from my mum would have been record-breaking had I done this. Not the a-hole OP. I came to the conclusion long ago, especially as a bartender, snapping is the absolute rudest way to get someone's attention. And honestly, If she pulled this in public, she probably got way slower service than she would have by just being patient. Snapping fingers or leaning over the bar and waving money in your face? So rude. I used to take the money, carry on with what I was doing. They'd get their money back when it was their turn. I'm also part of the contingent that would have no fingers to snap even if I thought about doing that towards my mum. The disrespect from the sister is incredible. Send her back to her own house. So you all asked her to stop and she didn't. You did the push down hand and be condescending thing for months, and she still kept rudely snapping her fingers at you. I'm going with, you did your best to stop her and she brought this on herself, not the a-hole. Posted by user Bad Haircuts Anger. Titled, Am I the a-hole for causing a scene when my hairstylist majorly messed up my hair? I know this may sound petty since it's just hair and it'll fix itself in a week, but I was really peeved, and my friend is calling me an a-hole, so I need unbiased opinions. Earlier this week, I went to a hair salon close to my house. It was one of those franchised hair salons that have multiple locations around my city. I usually keep it pretty simple, short on the side, long on the top, like a pseudo undercut, but without the fade. As I was getting my haircut, my stylist was talking to another stylist and not really focusing on what she should be doing, which at that point was cutting my hair. She kept looking away to gossip to her coworker. Well, at one point, when she was trimming my sideburns, she looks away again to talk to her coworker and ended up buzzing off a clean line from my forehead to just about past my ear. And I'm not sure if you'd believe me when I say I'm normally a pretty calm and composed person, but I freaked out. Probably the most I've ever freaked out on another person. And my last girlfriend cheated on me, and I wasn't as angry as I was at that moment. I hopped out of the chair, and this is from the best of my memory, but I said, "What the F are you doing? Why the F are you talking to your coworker when you should be paying attention? Look at what you did. How can someone mess up this bad? What the F is wrong with you? Are you effing new or some crap? Did you just recently graduate haircut school?" Look, I'm not sure what it's called. She started apologizing and tried to get me to sit back down, saying she can fix it, but I didn't trust her anymore. And I demanded someone else take her place, and I quote, "I need someone who actually knows how to cut hair. I'm not sitting back down and having your incompetent ass continue to cut my hair. Do you think I'm daft or some crap?" She just hung her head down and looked like she was about to cry, and admittedly, I wanted to cry too. Luckily, another stylist just finished her client, and so she finished up the job. Not like there was any way to fix it. So she buzzed the rest of my sides and back down, and to match the length of the mistake. I.e., removed the hair, since trimming settings on the clippers take it down to nothing. Now I look like a frickin' paintbrush. After everything was all said and done, they comped my haircut, but I still tossed a few bucks to the stylist that attempted to fix it, and I asked for the contact information for the manager, and I was on my way. I contacted the number later, and they told me they were already aware of what happened, and it's being investigated. Now, what brings me to why I made this post? I was telling my friend about what happened, and he thinks I was a major a-hole, and I didn't need to freak out that bad, and that you probably costed that woman her job over hair that'll grow back. Yes, I know it'll grow back, but it's called doing your job and not being distracted while cutting someone's hair. Jesus effing Christ. Am I the a-hole? Kind of a hard one to judge because I do think it's an everyone sucks here situation. She definitely shouldn't have been distracted as much as she was during that time, but people make mistakes, and it's natural to make mistakes. I feel like you blew this one way, way, way out of proportion for what actually happened, and I don't particularly think that your actions were justified. It comes across as a Karen, I want to speak to your manager situation. If it was me, I would have just got back in the chair, said, "Hey, fix the mistake, it's okay, accidents happen, I don't care too much." But that's me personally, and everyone reacts to situations differently, and everyone has different expectations of people. She doesn't escape being an a-hole in this situation from a mistake, So that's why everyone sucks here, but I think you suck more. Everyone sucks here. Yes, she really should have been paying attention and not getting distracted by her coworker while cutting your hair. And it's good that you got the cut comped. It could have been a lot worse, like she might have nipped off a piece of your ear. But there really wasn't any need to berate her the way you did. She messed up, and you were right to get another stylist to fix the mistake. But seriously, man, no need to berate someone like that. Not the a-hole? And what do you mean, no reason to berate her? She blew it, was gossiping, and screwed up OP's hair. Definitely, but there's a difference between being angry and yelling at someone and going on an extremely harsh and insulting rant. Not the a-hole, she didn't do her job because she wasn't paying attention. Hair grows back, but that's no excuse. You did overreact, but that happens. Not the a-hole because of the not paying attention thing. The stylist doesn't have to live with the results of her screw-up. Hair is such a visible feature. It's completely understandable to have an emotional reaction to it being done poorly due to an entirely avoidable mistake. In another line of work, that could get you a missing appendage or worse. Not to mention the potential physical damage this could have caused. If she had been holding something sharper, OP could have easily been injured. I saw a stylist accidentally gesture and let fly a pair of scissors once. Did someone get hurt? Luckily, no. But it wasn't the first time it happened either. The woman had previously accidentally slung a comb and a few brushes in people's directions. Not the a-hole. If she had been doing her job instead of talking to a coworker, it wouldn't have happened. Thank you. Although with other commenters saying I shouldn't have berated her, I'm starting to see that I probably shouldn't have, and just kept it to getting someone else to finish up and putting in a proper complaint. No, not the a-hole. You gave her a life lesson. She will remember that for the rest of her career. Being careless has its consequences. Sure, hair grows back, but what if she shaved off your eyebrow or nicked your skin or cut off your frickin' ear? Maybe you were a little over the top, but she had it coming. You don't know how many other people she's done that to who just sat through it. Alright, that's where I think I'm going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I really do hope you learned something or just really enjoyed the posts that were put up today. Quick shout out to all my new and existing Patreon and channel members. You should be able to see your name on screen right now, and if you don't, then I don't think you're part of the club, and you really should join the club because it's a great club. And I want to thank every single one of you guys for supporting me in this journey. It really means so much to me, and I love you all so much for it. Thank you for helping me out. As you can tell, I'm now happy and healthy back in Australia. Thank God it's not cold like Ireland. I don't like wearing jumpers everywhere. I prefer the heat. Thank you very much. I know that's an unpopular opinion. Anyway, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you later. Bye.